Hey there guys, Zach here from WinBeta, and welcome to episode number 66 of the WinBeta Podcast for the week of 20th of May 2016. I always forget the day. With me is co-host Sean Michael. Hey there, Sean.
Hey there.
And we've got a number of stories for you this week. We have a bunch of Windows 10 stories. We have Microsoft selling off its feature phone business, which is pretty big news. Android stuff, weirdly, on a Microsoft podcast, although yes, we have some Android news this week. And a couple of Windows 10 mobile tidbits, you know, just the usual stuff. Not a huge week for Windows 10 or Windows 10 mobile. But we've still got some big news to talk about, so we should probably dive straight in. But before that, how are you, Sean?
Yeah, you know, I had a pretty good week. I didn't have any lectures or seminars this week, so I just went to the gym and slept. It was wonderful.
You sound like a teenager.
Yeah, it's great. It's amazing. I got 2 more assignments left, and then it's just all nothing for the rest of the summer except for my wedding.
Yes.
How about you?
Yeah, pretty average week. Not much going on. We should dive in to the Microsoft selling its feature phone business. Now, before anybody, this news broke this week. Microsoft is selling their feature phone business, but what people seem to misunderstand or got quite worried about was the fact that Microsoft selling its feature phone business doesn't bring good news for Windows 10 Mobile. That's what people immediately assumed, even though Microsoft said that they're still dedicated to Lumia and Windows 10 Mobile and will continue supporting Lumia for the foreseeable future. So the feature phone business, for those who don't know, when Microsoft acquired Nokia, it acquired not only Lumia, but it acquired its Asha and, you know, smaller feature phones, so the phones that aren't smartphones. Microsoft didn't really want this division anyway, I don't believe. So them selling it off now, it makes perfect sense. And it's not big news. It's not. No one here listening to this podcast, at least, is going to be affected by this sale, unless, of course,
Speak for yourself.
Unless you are a huge fan of Microsoft feature phones, which I don't think. Did Microsoft release any feature phones with the Asha series?
Yeah, I think they released like 1 or 2.
Well, whatever.
I remember I did a clickbaity headline once, and it was like, Microsoft announced a new phone. No, not that one.
Yeah, it's just the Asha, the Asha.
So that was it, though. I don't. You know, this wasn't a big push, and it was never going to be.
No, so. But immediately, you know, the cynical people you lot are, immediately went, oh, this is the end of Windows 10 Mobile, everything's going to... No, this is just Microsoft shredding off all the fat that they don't need, because the Windows 10 Mobile focus is coming next year. I've said this many times. And Lumia, right now at least, Lumia is the phone from Microsoft, and of course Microsoft will also support Windows 10 Mobile for OEM phones, other like third-party OEM phones. But I know rumors have been saying that Lumia, there are no more Lumia devices. The next device of Microsoft would be, the next Windows 10 Mobile device of Microsoft will be either a Surface phone or some kind of new Windows Phone device. It won't be a Lumia. That can always change. And Microsoft may be like, oh, hang on a minute, we've got a new Lumia here at the end of the year if they really wanted to, I guess. Microsoft is dedicated to Windows 10 Mobile, just not yet. It's coming. Microsoft's focus on the mobile strategy will happen in the future. I've said this before and I'll say it again. The Windows 10 Mobile vision isn't complete without the mobile spectrum. No matter what you cynical people say, it has to be there.
I saw a conversation on Twitter between Thomas Negro from VLC and Daniel Rubino from Windows Central. And I don't want to misquote them, but just the theme of the conversation was Thomas was saying that it's not being supported, and Daniel was saying, like, it's gotten 15 builds in the last few months. Like, what are you saying?
No, I know. It's just...
And it's like, look, I'm not claiming there aren't issues with Windows 10 Mobile. I'm not claiming, like, there was a good article, I think, last week on how Microsoft has a first-party app problem. And, like, there are issues, but they're not ignoring it. Like, it's still a thing.
Yeah, Michael West says it was the Nokia 230 that Microsoft released. So devices like the 230 that pretty much nobody bought and aren't smartphones, that division is being sold off, which is, I think it's good news, really. It means more money for Microsoft, but not that they need it. But
somebody else tweeted, they were like, oh, I don't know who it was. They had a great joke about basically we don't have to write about them anymore.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, we barely wrote about their feature sort of devices anyway. The 230 when it was announced was one announcement post. I don't think we covered it any further than that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, those who did they sell them to? Oh, Foxconn, right? Or
Yeah, it was Foxconn for, I think, what was it 350 million?
yeah, well, not a lot of money compared to the acquisition that Nokia was, which was 8 billion, 7 billion.
Yeah, but I think I've seen a few different numbers. When they wrote it down, they wrote it down for 7.4 billion, I think. I think they bought it for a little less than that.
You know, they acquired Skype for more.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine being a company where you're just like, we spend $5 billion, and someone's like, all right, but we might have to write it down for more than that in 2 years.
I find it hilarious how Microsoft was able to purchase the entire Nokia hardware division for less money than it was to buy Skype, a crappy software thing.
And then, I don't know, I mean, I think in hindsight, well, maybe we could transition to this, that we had a poll this week on basically the Nokia purchase has gone full circle. They bought the smartphone business from them for a tremendous amount of money. I actually think I have the stat here. It was a 5.5 billion. Put euro? That doesn't sound right. How would I use euro? So that's an odd currency for me to use in an article, but maybe that was it. Anyway, and then the purchase was part of a $7.6 billion write-down, and it's now kind of come full circle. They took in Lumia's and the Nokia brand. They rebranded it to Lumia. They tried to translate that success. They came out with some phones. Let's see here, Zach. Can we list the phones that Microsoft made since the acquisition?
From the top of my head, probably not. So they released the 640.
I'm trying to think. Anything where it's just Lumia and not Nokia, and then a couple things that are.
They've got the Microsoft Lumia 550, which I think was the first. They've got the Microsoft Lumia 435, which was also one of the first or the second. Yes, that's also a Microsoft device. They've got the 640, the 640 XL, and the 950 series, and obviously the 650 and 550. I do not think they released the 7. No, they didn't. So it was the 430 and 435, 530 and 535. No, sorry, not the 530, just the 535.
None of which, what I would say, were tremendously successful phones.
I don't think so.
Some of them are okay phones. I mean, the 950.
No, I think the 535. I think is now the most popular Windows phone. I want to say.
Could be. I know it used to be the 520, so that 500 line is pretty popular.
Yeah.
In any event, we've come pretty full circle with this, and now with this, it was a good chance to say... What was that?
Sorry, my camera fell.
In hindsight, the poll question this week was, should Microsoft still have purchased Nokia's smartphone business? I'll just give you the numbers, and then we can talk about kind of the reasoning in a sec. So, 53.87% of people said no, they should not have purchased it. 46.13, obviously the remainder, said yes. So relatively close split, but a 6% win for no, saying they should not have purchased them. What do you think, Zach?
Yes, I think they should have purchased Nokia. The write-down... Well, put it this way. Nokia was the only dedicated Windows Phone manufacturer at the time, and there were rumors that Nokia were about to pull out of Windows Phone and start investing in Android, which they now have. Nokia is coming back to the smartphone market with an Android device quite soon.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's like if you're dating someone and they're like, no, he's just a friend. The Android's just a friend. And then as soon as you break up, they're like, yeah, now they're with Android.
If Microsoft didn't buy Nokia, there would be nobody would be making Windows Phone right now.
Yeah, I think they needed to do it as a holdover. Because...
Business-wise, terrible idea, but for the fans, I guess it's a good idea.
Well, what would you have even bought? Like if you look, I don't know what they would have done. I don't think they would have made phones any faster. Like, it wasn't until over a year after, I think, the Nokia purchase that they switched over Windows devices to Panos Panay and that team. And that took some time to even happen. So if Nokia had gone Android, they didn't purchase them, there would have been almost no OEMs left making any Windows phones. And then what would you have done for between 2014 and 2015? Because Microsoft would have had to then scramble around and put together a phone that they had never made before.
They probably wouldn't have.
And then maybe they didn't. And then maybe the whole shape of Windows 10 Mobile and Windows 10 is different. Because Windows 10 is based off of the fact that you build apps that scale on any device. That's why the HoloLens can run apps that already exist.
Yeah.
Because they're so scalable. And it's why Windows 10 Mobile is never going to die no matter what the market share is, because things project well between devices, and Microsoft can consolidate code, and so can companies. So like you said, business-wise, it wasn't a great decision. I think it's a ton of money. They certainly didn't make that amount of money back, but I don't know what they would have done without it.
Yeah, Zerli is right. The acquisition also brought home a few patents from Nokia as well, which may come in handy for future Microsoft Windows Phone devices, such as a Surface phone or a Windows Microsoft's phone or whatever. I reckon I know the write-down was big, but Microsoft has lots of money to throw about, which I guess is not a good thing to say, even if you have lots of money to throw about. Microsoft had the money to write down the amount they did, I think, because they're still operating today, aren't they? They haven't gone bust since they acquired Nokia. So
no, they're I think the second richest tech company in the world.
Yeah, so I think they're doing quite okay. I think the $7 billion write down, although terrible, then again Surface also had a $9 billion write down. Sometimes you got to lose money to win money or earn money, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no,
and just the Nokia acquisition hasn't turned around yet.
I will say
that is wishful thinking.
I don't think I like Windows 10 Mobile, and I don't think it's going to die, but I don't think we'll ever get a point where it's on equal footing with iOS or Android.
You know what? I can find out by jumping into my time machine.
Jump in the TARDIS, let me know.
Yeah, 10 years into the future, see how Windows 10 Mobile. Yeah, next story.
Well, it's yours. So we had the OneDrive app this week showed up. You know, a Microsoft dedicated service made by Microsoft that integrates with Windows, which is made by Microsoft. But it's taken how long for it to show up?
Yeah, almost a year. Yeah, this is the new Windows 10 OneDrive Universal Windows Platform app is pretty much the mobile app just blown up. It's not very good. It's very a mobile-esque app. It's there, I guess, if you've been looking for a OneDrive app. Although Windows 10 did come with OneDrive integration anyway through the File Explorer, which is much more powerful than what this is. But if you are an app user, this is for you. It does support drag and drop, which is nice. You can now drag files into the app and they'll upload to OneDrive, which I've actually had to use because the OneDrive website doesn't work in Edge for me no more. Even on 10.586, it rarely does it work. None of my files show up on the main file bit, but if you go into like recent or photos and stuff, they show up just fine. So, but on the main page, maybe on 10.586 it's working right now. Sometimes it doesn't. On the Redstone 2 builds, on the Redstone builds, however, it doesn't work. So.
Well, we did a video on this very app. You should go watch it if anyone hasn't.
Yeah.
It's basically Oliver, and he's like, if you're looking for a great app that's got lots of features, you're going to be disappointed. If you just want a good app that does things, yeah, you'll probably still be disappointed. Like, it's not super feature heavy. I agree with his comment, but I guess he has a bit of a conflict of interest, maybe. I don't think that's getting in his way. That's criticism, though. But he works for Dropbox. That's Rudy Hewen. And he was pointing out, like, you click multi-select and then you can't, there isn't, like, a back. Like, there's just, like, problems. And it's frustrating, Zach, because you get these apps, and it's just like, what are you doing? Like, I like that it's here. Like, I'd rather have it than nothing, and it can still get upgraded later. But... like, you guys make OneDrive. You have access to everything you could ever want. There's no feature that you can't grab because you're a third party. And then they come out with this. Doesn't even have a dark theme, does it?
I have no idea. No, it does. It should have a dark theme.
Does it? I'll check. But I don't know. It's just frustrating because you're just like, this is the app you came up with. I don't understand. Now, if you go into settings... maybe dark theme is hidden somewhere, but if you go into settings It goes accounts, additional device sign in, rate the app, and about. There's no dark theme.
Oh, that's because it's using the system-wide switch, which is only on Redstone.
Oh, so in Redstone it'll
Yeah.
switch. Okay, well, still. Good for tablets, though. Good for touch.
Yeah, it's always good for touch, though, isn't it? So, congratulations for tablet users.
I guess this isn't really a big story, but the Microsoft Health app showed up this week. And that's another one where you're just like, how did this take you a year to roll it out onto Windows?
Well, it wasn't really required for Windows because it hooks up to your phone, not your PC.
Yeah, but who says I wouldn't want it to hook it up to my PC?
But you're not carrying your PC about.
No, but what if I get home? You have to charge it at some point.
I guess.
Like, you know what I mean? If universal apps are that easy to move from device to device, why not just shove it on PC, make some developers figure it out? And then the PC one doesn't even support Bluetooth. Like if you get the Microsoft Health app for Windows 10, doesn't even support Bluetooth. It's like USB only. So anyway, whatever. Zach, is there any news related to the Windows 7 convenience update? Somebody tweeted that too.
Other than the fact that it's a thing, Microsoft released Windows 7 Service Pack 2, but don't call it Service Pack 2 because Microsoft doesn't like using that term anymore. It's a convenience update, they're calling it. So basically, for many, many years now, I say many years, for a few years now, Windows 7 administrators and IT professionals and whoever else have been begging Microsoft. Microsoft said they were going to do it, but it took a while for them to actually do it. They've been begging Microsoft for some kind of package that just rolled up all of Windows 7 updates into one, so they don't have to clean install Windows 7 and install thousands of updates. And this is pretty much what that is. In this convenience update, once slipstreamed into Windows 7, I believe, only has 100 or so updates to do from Windows Update once the convenience update is applied. So great for administrators and enterprise users and whoever else is using Windows 7, but not really a consumer orientated thing because nobody buys a machine no more with a brand new Windows 7 install. So yeah, you can download that now. What's the KB? I believe it's KB, I don't know. There's many different KBs, so just it's on the Windows Update catalog, which is nice. So if you're a fan of using Internet Explorer 6, you can go ahead and grab that. It's the Microsoft Update catalog website is it's hilarious. You can't use it in Edge. You try to go to the Microsoft Update catalog. If you try to navigate to that site in Edge, it says, "Hey, you can't go to Internet Explorer." It's such an old, just the website's so old, it just doesn't use any modern technologies, I don't think.
I wonder, can I open the Space Jam website on Microsoft Edge?
Probably.
Did you know that like Space Jam has had like the same website since the movie came out in like 1996?
Really?
Yeah, they just like left it up there. That's like a it's like a really old. Anyway, that's not related to this.
Oh yeah,
I'll figure it out later. Anyway, anything else on the convenience update?
No, that's pretty much it. It exists. Go download it if you are a Windows 7 user. Android is a thing.
Yeah. So we had Google. What is it pronounced? I/O this week?
Google EO. I don't know. I don't know. Google I/O. It's Google
had
I/O.
a big thing this week. There are a lot of announcements. We're not going to go over all of them. This isn't a Google podcast, but there's some that relate to Microsoft. You know, some people have, little things like, oh, Microsoft should make a home version of Alexa because now Google's got one. But there's a really big one, and it's just kind of a topic. We don't have an article on it yet, but it's basically our Android apps, because it was announced that Android apps are going to run on Chrome OS. And it's going to be, I've read an article, I think it was Ars Technica, who broke down, was it them? Oh, I read this great article that broke down how it's using containers. And so it's not like running a virtual machine, so it's less, it doesn't make your PC work that hard. It doesn't make the Chromebook run, tons and tons of virtual machines for every app. So it's going to work a little different, excuse me. And so there's 1.5 million Android apps, and as long as the developer is cool with it, they're going to run on Chromebooks and the Chrome OS. And so the question is do you think that that's going to be a problem? Comments, I'll be interested, all the commenters, everyone. Let me share my thoughts real quick. I think that Android has such a strong foothold, and there's so many apps and developers. I think I just read that 84% of mobile phones are Android. They have a really powerful pull that just Microsoft just doesn't have in the mobile sphere. And so Microsoft is kind of going the direction of, we have lots of PCs. Let's see if we can get people to make apps for phones. And it's almost like Android's doing it the other way around, where we have mobile apps that are built for touch, but they're actually putting them on Chrome OS, which I don't actually think supports touch. But you're getting a direction. So Android has these mobile apps, but mobile is the way that computing is trending. We're getting more and more mobile powerful devices. There's rumors now that I think one of the new smartphones, for flagship phones, is going to have 6 gigabytes of RAM. And so you get these apps on this growing sector, and they're going to be on Chromebook, as opposed to Microsoft, which is taking an older sector in PCs and trying to do that. So one of the commenters says it does support touch, so I haven't used it before, but it'll be really interesting to see which one of those two perspectives works. I still think Chromebooks are pretty foreign to a lot of people, so I don't know how popular it'll be, but I'm very curious. What do you think, Zach?
I'm just confused as to how Google is positioning this for developers. So what are developers supposed to develop for? Are you supposed to develop for Android now if you want a Chrome OS compatible thing, or do you develop for a Chrome web app instead? I didn't watch Google I/O, so I have no idea if they went through all that.
From the article I read, it basically said that I think it was trying to sell it as, yeah, you can use like Microsoft Word. It actually mentioned Office and Skype quite a bit in the article, and I think Google so if there's a Skype app for Android, you can now use it on a Chromebook. If there's a Word app for Android, you can use it on your Chromebook.
Right.
So this is their way of bridging any sort of program gap, where maybe there are services that you can't get on a Chromebook that you now can get. So I think that's kind of the direction that they're going.
I think this is a big deal, and it's potentially bad news for Microsoft and Apple, in the sense that there's 1 billion Android devices, right, or something like that.
Sounds right. Sure.
Developers can target Android and all of a sudden have their app run on Chromebooks, which I believe outsold Mac this quarter or something, or recently outsold the Mac. So Chromebooks aren't a joke no more. They are, although they are on a much smaller scale than Windows PCs and laptops. That can easily change. In 5 years, 10 years, maybe in 10 years' time, we're all buying Chromebooks or a similar kind of device, or web-based and whatever else. It's Microsoft is okay with what they're doing though. They've got the Windows Universal Platform, and their vision with what they're doing, I think, is far better than what Google is planning here. But this could be, because then again, iPhone's one of the best, well, people think iPhone's one of the best phones on the market, which it isn't. So they could easily say, oh yes, Android and Chrome OS is the best thing. It's not, but it could totally be to most people. So I don't know.
I think you and I were talking about this before the podcast a bit. A lot of consumers don't need powerful PCs. Some makers of content need PCs. A lot of editing software is much more powerful on PCs, and I'll throw in any type of personal computing device, whether that's a Mac running OS X or a PC running Windows or whatever. But a lot of consumers don't care. I don't mean that they're like rebelling in some sort of like I'm against computers. It's just there are a lot of people, like my mom only uses probably 5 to 10 programs, and they're all apps now. And there's a lot of people like my mom out there that don't need to create content. They can do everything they need to on a tablet, but then sometimes they want a form factor that's just a computer. And so if you could get a cheap computer that is basically, it's almost like an RT device except with app support, and you could get Office because you're running the Android version of Office, and then a nice powerful web browser, and then a bunch of the apps that you want, that's going to be fine for like a lot of people. And Android is getting more and more I'm not an Android guy. I don't even use it. I'm just saying that if you can sell an iPad Pro as a pro device, if there are people that run businesses where instead of a computer they do it on their iPad, then if you have a Chromebook that can run 1.5 million apps and as a powerful browser, some people are definitely going to look into it.
Yeah, the thing with Chromebooks as well is that they do it right with lightweightness. If is that word? I don't know. But you buy a cheap Windows laptop, it is riddled with third-party crap.
Yeah.
Most of the time, unless you buy straight from Microsoft. If you buy a Chromebook, rarely will you have any third-party junk. But if there is anything on there, you can easily uninstall it. It doesn't leave anything behind. It's a web app, pretty much, so it doesn't do anything. Chromebooks get that right, I admit, and they're also very fast to turn on and off. They're very lightweight. If it's just a browser, and now with the upcoming update, you'll be able to run Android apps, which I think is a benefit. If you're a Chromebook user, this is good news for you. This is great. You're getting much more... a whole load of functionality out of a $120 purchase, if you purchased a really cheap Chromebook or not. But yeah, this is great for Chrome users, and Microsoft. I always thought Microsoft should just kind of allow Windows Phone apps to run on the desktop in windowed mode. I don't see why they shouldn't. But
can they? Is that hard to do?
Why couldn't they?
Well, some of the commenters are pointing out that they basically rewrote the Chrome OS to just be a lot of Android.
Right, but most of the Universal Windows 10 apps, because the Universal Windows 10 platform, it's yes, mobile, whatever. But some developers aren't developing for desktop, so why not just have the phone app just run it in a phone-sized window on your desktop?
Yeah, I've thought something similar. Just let me just have a phone. I know it won't look great, but sometimes I just need it to work.
I don't know. Well, maybe in the future.
Anyway. All right, well, there's more Android-related news this week.
Hooray, we love Android.
Yeah, well, apparently we're all switching. We're all going to run... I'm going to run the podcast off a Chromebook. No. Zach's over there with the Chrome. Now, does XSplit have a Chrome app now? Do I use a Skype plugin now? Anyway, so Cortana... which we already know this is coming, but it's showing up now. Cortana for Android adds Windows 10 notification syncing. So we already know what the feature is. We've talked about this before. The notification center is going to be syncing between devices. We already knew it's on the way for this, but a Reddit user, I will try to pronounce his name, Jehoff80, he noticed the feature being enabled on his device earlier this week. And because I think he's an insider, and then he has Cortana on the test program. So there you go. It's starting to show up already for some of these insiders, and you get that linked notification center because of Cortana. I think it's great. I'm kind of upset that it's running on Android because I thought that was going to be a really good selling point of Windows 10 Mobile. But I guess Android users are going to get it too, and it's going to work fine.
Yeah, I mean, Microsoft announced this at Build that it was coming, so it's good to finally see it show up. iPhone users, though, haha.
Yeah. Well, Apple's so closed, and they don't open things.
It's Apple. Apple is so big-headed. They're like, we're not even missing out. You can buy a Mac, and you can have that all anyway, or whatever it is. I don't know what happens. So Android users, you now have additional functionality with your Windows 10 PC. It's funny because a lot of Microsoft people cover Microsoft. They jump ship from Windows Phone to an iPhone because of all the apps support stuff. But now it looks like jumping to an iPhone was a bad idea, and going to Android would have been the better idea because Android has much deeper integration with Windows 10 and whatever else.
Why would you jump to Apple if you were leaving Microsoft?
I've said this many times that I would also go for an iPhone. Because it's just,
after all this,
after all this, no, I wouldn't. But in the past, I always said I'd go for an iPhone. But now with all this Android special treatment, I would choose an Android device. But I don't know which one I would choose because Nexus would be probably what I go for. But I don't like the Nexus 6P.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll get to the Nexus.
I might go to a Nexus 5X.
Yeah, maybe someday Microsoft could just make a skin. What is that version of Android that has deeper integration?
Cyanogen?
What was that?
Cyanogen? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that one. Maybe they could just make like a Android Windows version, Android W.
You know what they could do?
5 tiles. They could just runs Android apps.
They could just release a ROM for Windows 10
exactly,
and bring back Astoria emulation.
Exactly. Anyway, is there anything else from Google I/O you want to talk about?
Nope.
No? All right, then why don't you jump in on there? Because you just said you don't like the Nexus, but we still have a story about one.
The 5X has apparently been seen running Windows 10 Mobile, which is kind of what I tried to segue into, except you kept going back to Google I/O. No one knows if this is real or not. It looks like a Nexus 5X running an older build of Windows 10 Mobile before it hit RTM. Slightly older. Problem is, people have done some research into this video. It turns out the IMEI for this device is of an old LG Optimus Windows Phone 7 device. Furthermore, the back of this Nexus 5X doesn't appear to have the Nexus branding on it. Now, this could be a prototype engineering device that would warrant the fact that it has no logos on it, whatever. But there are things that point to this being fake. But the IMEI thing, although people are looking at that to be the most fake, doesn't make sense to me. That seems so uncalled for to be fake, if you know what I mean. Why would somebody look up an IMEI and go, right, let's think of an IMEI, it's a fake. Let's think, an LG Optimus 7. Maybe, I don't know if the backstory of IMEIs or if they're random, I don't know. But yeah, the IMEI on this thing is of an LG Optimus 7. So there isn't a public ROM for this, so you can't actually download this and run it on your Nexus 5X. Regardless, the video is looks good. It looks like it's happening on the Nexus 5X or whatever device this is. Somebody said to me it could just be a lookalike device just hidden in a Nexus 5X case, which I thought was quite funny. But yeah, it looks to run quite well on this device, whatever device it is. It is 10.568, I think it's running, so it's not the RTM. But fantastic. There you go. Maybe one day there'll be a ROM for the 5X. Maybe not.
It's funny because we did that poll last week on which Android phone do you wish could run Windows 10 Mobile, and one of the options was the Nexus. And I remember saying, like, in the article, like, oh, well, this will never happen because they won't even make a YouTube app for Windows, so they wouldn't let it run Windows 10 Mobile. And then not even a week later, you get, hey, this guy's having a little Nexus running his thing there, and you go, oh. Someday I just want to be able to pick the operating system for my phone.
I found out the other day that somebody was working on an Android fork for iPhone, but I think it's the old iPhone, like iPhone 3GS. Okay. But I think that's pretty cool.
Someday maybe we won't be so closed off with these. Because you can buy a Mac and you can have it run Windows, right?
Yes, well, some Macs.
So maybe someday with phones it'll be like that. You just buy a device and you just run whatever you want.
Just be free.
Be free. If you want to buy a Samsung Galaxy Note and then take notes in OneNote, but you're on Windows, then that's fine. Someday that'll be a thing. Probably not, but hopefully.
There's a lot of Redstone talk going on in the chat right now. Team Gnome's right. Redstone 1 is, I believe, feature complete at this point. So it's bug fixes all the way down from here, pretty much, all the way up to RTM. You might see a couple of additional options show up in places, but I'm not expecting brand new feature this or something like that between now and July. Redstone 2 is where all the next set of new features will be showing up. So Redstone 1 pretty much almost done at this point. We've got a month or so until, well, it's May 20th now, and if the update's coming out in July, I expect sign off for Redstone 1 to be late June, early July. So not long now.
Yeah, probably a month or so.
Not long now. So yeah, someone also asked about the updated File Explorer that Microsoft teased. That's not Redstone 1. That's not Redstone 1. So Redstone, I guess Redstone 2 or 3. But that's a story for another time. Now, however, let's talk about Facebook Live.
Facebook! Well, we've talked about this before, so I don't want to go over why I love it. You can tune in, but I like it because I use it, and it's nice. But somebody spotted it. Let's see here. A new report from techtudo.com. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, so Facebook Live was spotted by this reporter. Apparently he was granted access. Elson de Souza has been granted access to it on a Windows 10 PC, where you can use Facebook Live on the Facebook desktop app, which is a weird place to see it first, because I think it has a much more native place on mobile, because a lot of people just walk around and film things Facebook Live. But I'll tell you what, Zach, people might hate Facebook Live. That's fine. It's definitely here to stay. It's definitely going to be popular, if it isn't already considered popular, because it's really easy to use. You don't need an encoding software like you do with YouTube. So YouTube has mass video appeal, but you need a specific software to do it live from your phone. Periscope is nice, but it's attached to Twitter, and there are some people who aren't going to use it. Facebook, you can view it on your phone, you can view it on your PC, tablet. They're even going to be supporting Windows. They're already on some other platforms, and it's really nice. It's not perfect. I have complaints about it, but I would be so happy if this came to Windows 10 PCs and tablets, and then later also came to phones as well. So hopefully, I mean, this seems legitimate. I mean, it seems like he just got early access to it. It's also not surprising because Facebook said they were all in on Windows 10. Well, being all in would mean that your newest feature that you're pushing to the world would be available. So that'd be
You're
great.
the only person I know who uses Facebook Live.
I don't even think it's easy to use. There are problems with it. It's this weird square format. Like like I said, there are issues with it. I'm not saying it's the best thing since sliced bread. I just think that Facebook has too many users for Facebook Live to not become popular.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Well, there's just so many people. Everybody has a Facebook account, even if you don't use it that often. But not everybody uses Periscope. You know what I mean? Mm. And not everybody's going to be on Vine. There are people who aren't on Snapchat. Facebook Live is just a really easy thing that uses a software or a website that people already have.
Yeah, but mentioning Periscope, Jonathan says he's been using Periscope, but if you try to watch a Periscope stream with Edge, it doesn't work. Right. Jonathan says they apparently block Edge on purpose because if you change the agent string, it works. Jonathan, have you tried?
What do they want you to use then?
I guess Chrome or Firefox or something. But that makes no sense because Edge has the support then if it works. Jonathan, have you actually spoken to the Periscope people and told them to get their stuff in gear?
Yeah, getting in order.
Yeah, what's going on? The discrimination from Microsoft browsers is just poor on the internet. Why does Mega not work with Edge properly? Or why does Periscope not work? Or there's loads of websites that just don't seem to work with Edge.
Yeah. So is this the Jonathan that's from the Edge team?
Yes, he is. He's back
again.
He
should be on the podcast sometime.
Yes, talk to him about that.
Yeah, come on sometime. Anyway, like I said, I just think it's too popular of a service for people to not start using it. They'd just be you just be scrolling through your timeline, and this video will be live, and this one will be from yesterday. I think it's just too native for it to not become popular.
Oops.
We have other news not related to Facebook at all, so there's no natural segue. But panorama mode on Windows 10, Zach.
Sorry, I didn't know this was my story, so I said nothing. Panorama mode for the camera app on Windows 10 Mobile is a thing, or will be very soon. So Microsoft is currently internally testing, I believe internally testing, yes, an update to the camera app which enables panorama mode, but only for the new Lumias, that's the 950 and 950 XL. At least in that version, there might be a newer app that actually has 1520 support or lower in the future, but panorama support is on the way. This has been a thing that has been in the plans for months. I learned about this months ago when I wrote about the new Photos app with the whole facial scanning thing. I also learned about this. I just didn't write about it because I'm lazy, but but hooray, it's finally showing up now, so I guess things are moving on with the Redstone finalization. So the whole Redstone being feature complete thing, the Redstone operating system, but of course, since the apps are independent, they are always being worked on anyway. So although Redstone may be feature complete, the app updates keep on rolling because they're independent and they can do that now. So that's nice, I guess. But yes, panorama mode coming very soon.
Which is nice.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
you know what would be nicer?
What?
If Microsoft never shut down PhotoSynth.
I never used PhotoSynth. I don't care.
That was a cool app.
I don't care.
That was a cool app.
Don't care about it.
If anyone doesn't know, it was a panorama. It was kind of panoramic. It was more like stitching together whatever you wanted. So you could do panorama like this, and it would almost take like multiple photos that it would then converge together. But what you could also do is you could take like photos of a whole room, like around like 360. And then if you had the app, you could move it around and look in the room like VR almost. So, yeah, I wish that wasn't gone, but I guess they didn't care about that. Anyway.
Oh, well. I mean, I've never successfully taken a good panoramic shot.
Yeah.
And so it's slightly wonky or someone's in the way or whatever, I don't know.
Or you end up stretching someone's head or something like that.
It's so stupid. I've never had a reason to either. The Lumia 950, or the most Lumia phones I've used, have a good wide-angle lens anyway, or semi-wide
that's
angle.
true.
So.
Well, Zach, I guess it's not going to be that long of a podcast today. We got one last story, and it's related to I'll say your favorite game. Is it your favorite game?
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Halo 5 Forge is coming to Windows 10 later this year. Fantastic news. So pretty much ever since Halo 2, Halo fans have been asking for a Halo on PC. And this is it. I mean, there is a Halo Online, but that's kind of like a forked version of Halo 3 with some Halo 4 features, and it hasn't got a campaign. Halo 5 Forge doesn't have campaign either, but it is the full Halo 5 engine. Will have multiplayer support, custom game support, and obviously Forge. So PC gamers can come into Halo 5, build a new map for Halo players, and then release that map onto the Halo-verse, and that can run on Xbox One. So you can build maps on PC because much more control, precision, easier. Which, to be fair, if you've used the Halo 5 Forge on Xbox One, you'll know that it's a pain in the backside to use with a controller. They've changed so much. It actually looks like it was designed for keyboard and mouse support. So it's finally showing up on Windows 10 later this year. But my question is, why not just bring all of Halo 5 to Windows 10? Because Forge is arguably one of the best parts of Halo. And I tweeted about this, and people came back to me and said, well, they want Xboxes to sell still. Then don't bring Halo 5 Forge to Windows 10 in the first place. Bring all or nothing, I'm saying, pretty much. Although, to be fair, I am quite happy that Forge is coming to Halo 5, to PC. I mean,
can we just... I'm not a developer, but I remember there was a quote a while back where they basically said they could bring Halo 5, and they was like, well, they're both based on Intel. And then, like, a few days later, I think someone from Redmond campus must have sent out a message that was like, and then they were like, actually, there are no plans right now for it to come to Windows 10.
You know full well that internally there are copies of Halo 5 Master Chief or Halo Master Chief Collection just for Windows 10 that they're never going to release. Major Nelson's at home like, guess what? On my powerful beast of a PC, I'm running Halo, and you just don't ever know.
What was that movie? Mission Impossible? Wasn't Simon Pegg playing Halo 5 on a PC?
No, he was playing on an Xbox.
Oh, never mind. He was at a PC, though.
Yeah, but you can plug an Xbox into a PC monitor.
So at work, he had an Xbox One.
I mean, sure, why not?
Nah, maybe
he was playing.
He probably jacked the copy on there.
No, look, he had Halo 5 like 4 months early, so to be fair, anything could have been happening in that.
4 months early and on a PC, maybe.
Yeah. Was it Halo 5 or Halo Master Chief Collection? I think it was Halo 5, right?
It was early, yeah.
I think it was Halo 5.
In any event, yeah, Team Gnome points out, he said they actually develop on PC initially.
Of course, where else would you develop it?
To me, I think, this is my guess, this isn't any internal stuff, it's just Microsoft, to me, they want to merge this Xbox One and Windows 10 experience within limits. Like, they talk about merging and a unified experience, and in a lot of ways they do that. But for some reason, I think they've held this, like, sentimental attachment to Halo. I don't know if it's because they figure if Halo 5 is on PCs that people won't buy Xbox Ones or what it is. Now, I also don't know why that would be bad for them. If you're using Halo 5, but you're on a PC, but you're still paying to use Xbox Live, I would think that that's still good for Microsoft. So I'm not, but I think that they've like clung to keeping Halo 5 exclusive, even though it has to be able to run on a PC. They have to know how to do that.
They know how. They've just chosen not to.
Yeah. Well, why do you think they've chosen not to?
Because of the Xbox. They want to sell Xboxes.
Yeah, it's kind of sad if you're betting a whole console on just that. On just Halo 5.
I reckon Halo would be really quite popular if it was on Steam.
Yeah, or if they just put it on the Windows 10 store instead of Steam, they just put it on Windows 10, and then you could still use it with Xbox. I think it'd be really popular then. And it would get some gamers to open up their mind to looking into the Windows 10 store.
I'm very excited to see the whole cross-play between Xbox and PC, Windows 10 converge, because I've been playing Rise of the Tomb Raider again on PC. Love that game, and it's great to be able to play it on PC and get all those achievements again. But the Quantum Break, which I think is even better, is that the save syncs. So whenever I'm playing Pete on Xbox, I can go to someone else's house and just load up my account on there and play Quantum Break there and just pick up where I left off. I think it's really quite cool.
That's pretty cool. And then is it one of those when you bought one, you got the other for free?
I do not believe so.
No, so you had to buy both.
Oh no, I cannot remember. Honestly, I have no idea. So I have no idea if that is a thing or not. But because Microsoft, they sent me, because they sent me a review, they gave me Quantum Break early very much, and that came the PC version, although a few weeks later. So yeah.
Anyway, do we have anything else today?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, all right then. I guess Miranda, you're hosting, so go nuts.
Yeah. So that was the WinBeta Podcast for the week of 20th of May 2016. With me was Sean Michael. You can find him on Twitter
at Sean_Michael_UK.
You can find me on Twitter at ZachB_. You can follow WinBeta on all kinds of social medias. Twitter at winbeta.dot.org. Facebook, facebook.com/winbeta.org. Google Plus, search for us. YouTube, search for us. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play Podcast, whatever it's called, and the various other social networks. So thanks so much for watching, and we shall see you in the next one. Bye-bye.